First of all, I'd like to say thanks very much to Tom and Melanie and the rest of the team at Savanta for organizing this event. It's been a great opportunity throughout the day for dialogue, and I look forward to meeting more of you later on this evening for information exchange about projects and key initiatives that might be a benefit to the region of Peel, the organization I'm from, and your interests. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you today to showcase the region's environmental assessment project for the widening of Mississauga Road, and how the region used the Endangered Species Act as really an opportunity to enhance partnerships to complete this environmental assessment. In addition to myself, I'm also joined here today by others from the region. Mr. Neil Smith, who's sitting in the audience. He was the lead project manager for this project. Mr. Laurie Miller from the region's Integrated Planning Division, and Mr. Dan Lebrecq, the Commissioner of Public Works for the region of Peel. Now, key to the success of this project was the theme of partnership. And this project really had its foundation in partnerships, and we worked really closely with Mark Eaton from M&R, who's also here with us today, and the Credit Valley Conservation Authority. And I'll speak through their involvement in this project as I go through my presentation. To set the stage for this project, I just want to take a few moments to give you some insight to key drivers to some of the key drivers to the region's road widening projects. Today, Peel's population is 1.3 million people, and it is forecasted to increase by about 25% over the next 18 years, totaling 1.6 million people by 2031. Now, this rate of growth is going to have a significant impact on Peel's program to deliver infrastructure in the greenfields of Caledon and Brampton, and along key intensification corridors and nodes in Mississauga. The region is preparing for this growth with an ambitious roads capital plan of approximately $1.2 billion over the next 10 years. And when we invest in that, or when we make that investment over the next 10 years, we will look at opportunities to enhance our network, not only by addressing the movement of people through cars, but goods movement, active transportation, and transit, all of which were integral components in the design for the Mississauga Road environmental assessment. To give you a sense of the natural features in the Mississauga Road project area, you can see that the study area is identified in Peel's Greenland system and traversed by the Huttonville Creek and adjoining tributaries. The study area for this environmental assessment is in the northwest area of the city of Brampton, extending from Beauvais Drive running north to Mayfield Road. The EA was conducted to protect the property for the ultimate 6-lane widening of Mississauga Road. And the study area is in an active development section of the city of Brampton known as the Mount Pleasant Secondary Plan. And to give you a full picture of all of the dynamic issues in the study area, we had to deal with a CN overpass, 3 major crossings of the Huttonville Creek, which you'll see in circles on the on the map to the right of the slide. We had to deal with sort of the upgrade, I guess, or introduction of red-side dace, which was originally identified as a species at risk when we commenced the project, and then through ESA was classified as an endangered species. So that threw a curveball into how we had to move ahead with this project. We had to coordinate the road widening project with the ongoing approvals for water and sanitary installation along Mississauga Road to facilitate the growth forecasted for the Mount Pleasant Secondary Plan. And just to the south of the study area, we had to coordinate all of our issues with the ongoing construction to widen Mississauga Road from the 2-lane cross-section to 4 lanes. So all of these issues really called for the region of Peel to step back and take a holistic approach of the entire corridor beyond the original EA study limits. So we looked at the corridor going south down to Queen Street, and you can see the rectangle sort of outlines the holistic, comprehensive approach that we took to looking at the study area, all the way north past Beauvais to Mayfield Road. And the reason we did that was really to understand what it would mean and the costs and times for a one-time construction approach to Mississauga Road. Because of all the dynamic issues in the project, we had to step back and look at our projects and the decisions being made, not only to regional infrastructure, but infrastructure being planned by the City of Brampton. And the criteria we used to examine are not uncommon to many of you. We looked at natural environment and preservation, the socioeconomic impacts, and again, we had to make sure what we were planning for was going to adhere to sound engineering and construction principles for permitting purposes by M&R. So as if the project was not dynamic enough with all of the issues that I spoke to in the previous slide, there were numerous stakeholders that the project team had to manage throughout this entire project. I spoke about the Credit Valley Conservation Authority, Ministry of Natural Resources, the City of Brampton, a number of utilities such as hydro, and so forth. Now, the identification of red-side dace as an endangered species, coupled with the multitude of stakeholders and the range of issues under this project, really escalated the need for Peel to take a lead role in gathering everyone under one roof. And so what we did is we held two events through Peel's leadership. The first was in October of 2011, where we brought together all of the technical agencies involved in the Mississauga Road EA. And it was a half-day discussion whereby we agreed to all of the requirements for the habitat restrictions for the red-side dace under the Endangered Species Act. And the feedback from that half-day session was so positive. So what we did was in May of 2012, Peel held a full-day workshop themed Clarifying Expectations. And it's very similar to the conference that Tom and his team has put on over the next 2 days. This workshop gave M&R, CBC, TRCA an opportunity to speak to GTA municipalities and utility corporations about provisions and guidelines for the analysis under the Act. It also gave Peel an opportunity to speak to the Mississauga Road project and share some of the lessons learned from this EA. So the Mississauga Road environmental assessment really honed in on 3 lessons learned for Peel. The first is consultation. For this particular environmental assessment, we went well beyond the typical public information centers and technical advisory meetings. We had monthly meetings with landowners in the study area. We spent a tremendous amount of time and effort to engage all of the stakeholders to really understand what the ESA meant to the Mississauga Road project. And that upfront consultation and engagement that we did is now paying dividends on other projects in Peel. The second lesson learned is that it's important for the project team members to be up to date on the endangered species legislation and understand what it means to your project. So a one size does not necessarily fit all. You cannot take a universal approach to interpretation of the ESA to your project, and I think that's been a theme that we've heard throughout the day. And the last, and probably the most important lesson learned for Peel is to use the opportunities for ESA to enhance partnerships and engage your stakeholders. Through the Mississauga Road EA, we now have an arrangement at Peel with Mark Eaton from M&R, staff from CBC, and the TRCA to come into our offices 1 day a month and meet with project managers from our transportation division, our water division, wastewater division, and they almost hotel basically out of our office. And Neil Smith, the project manager for this particular environmental assessment, basically sets the agenda up for any of the project managers from any one of our divisions to send out to Mark, staff from CBC and TRCA, and the time is used to resolve issues on projects to drive the projects forward. So this brings me to an end of my presentation. It was a snapshot on how the region of Peel used ESA to leverage and enhance partnerships with key stakeholders, really to advance permitting and timely construction. Thanks for your time, and I guess at the end of the panel, I'm open to any questions.